Hi everyone, this is Anusha, and I'd like to welcome all of you guys to SportsCentric, our Friday Paathshala evening. When we were kids, the best time of the day was basically between 5 to 8 in the evening. Like, we used to all come back from school, and then we used to just go play with all of our friends. I mean, like, that was like basically the best time. We used to play so much, all our hearts out. So growing up, everyone wanted to become a sports person. It looked so easier. I mean, like, we just had to go and play. I mean, like, it's so much fun. What's better than that? And but as we grew up, all the tournaments only grew more competitive, and their preparation was more demanding. I mean, like, once we actually got to see what's going on, like, you have to put on so much of extra hours and everything. And tournaments are basically, you know what, it happens in school level. So it's like you have to balance both studies as well as sports. So it just got like harder balancing sports, studies, and everything. But here we are with two very special people who crossed all boundaries with their consistency, passion, and love for sports to achieve the position that they are in today. I would, with a warm heart, introduce Tanaz Mohammed, who is a grassroots developer officer at Mumbai City FC, a sports management professional, and a Premier Skills Level 1 certified coach, educator, and coach. She is also a national as well as an international level hockey player and a district level footballer. At just 27 years old, she is not only an advocate for women and girls' rights in this industry, but also teaches hockey to football to kids. She is making us proud every day, and the list of her achievements are like endless. I mean, like, where do I even start? From adapting the ecosystem of football to understanding the different ways and spending her day and nights towards her passion. She has also coached more than around 500 girls from the Muslim community. I mean, like, being a girl also, it's kind of a difficult thing to, like, get into sports because our physiology is different to the boys. So it's like a different competition altogether. Tanaz has also she has also been awarded as the Go Distance Hero Award for her work in empowering women and underprivileged kids through sports, and also the Women Iconza Awards 2021, where she was awarded as the Iconic Sports Personality of the Year. I would like to welcome Mrs. Tanaz Mohammed.
Hi, Anusha. Thank you so much for
Hi,
that
Tanaz.
introduction.
Yeah, it's so good seeing you. I'm so honored that you're over here with us. And it's amazing, actually. So, how has it been, the lockdown and everything?
The lockdown has been difficult. I mean, again, I think we were just trying to get back to normal, trying to figure out our ways how to get back on field and start somewhere. But then again, we are put back at home, and I think lockdown has been the biggest challenge and the biggest learning phase for every one of us. So we're just trying to get through it now.
Everything is outdoor, like all the sports are outdoor, and all we are like are locked inside, so it's actually a big challenge.
Yeah.
Yes. And how is everything going on besides?
Besides going on well, I'm actually multitasking. I was taking an online class before that. One of my friends is getting married.
Oh,
Tomorrow is one of a
congratulations.
function, so I've been shuffling between too many things. But I'm grateful that I'm at least busy doing something. And I had to make sure that the minute I was told about this event, I made sure that somehow I will attend this because I felt it is important and it's the right kind of audience and the right kind of people to connect with, because that's the time you need more of an exposure of real life stories rather than like Disneyland stories don't work, but real life stories do work when you're in college life. So I thought I will get some time out and actually connect with you guys. So thank you for
Yeah, we are
having me in
so
the first
we are so grateful that you're over here with us, because honestly speaking, like, there's like a lot of competitions going on, and like, sports is very essential when it comes to college life or school life. So it's always there, and we are very grateful to have you over here.
Thank
So,
you so
I would like to ask you, like, when was it when you decided that this is what I want to do? Like, I want to become a hockey player, or I want to become a coach for football. Like, what is the story behind it?
I think my story in sports started at a very young age. I was 7 years old. That's when I decided I wanted to be in sports. And I started with track and field. I was an athlete first. I used to do track and field events. And at the age of 8, I came to know that my school has a hockey team. And I don't know what came in me. I just went and told my parents that I want to try hockey. And no one before me or after me has played hockey in my family. So I'm the
That is
only
a huge thing. Yeah.
only person in the entire family who's played hockey. And my parents were actually a bit shocked because I was a very shy and timid girl, always into my books. I was good in science, so my mom thought I would become a doctor one day. And today, both of us sit and laugh about it because I'm surely not mending any bones. I'm breaking a few when I'm on the ground. So that's the joke
Yes.
about it. But yeah, I think at the age of 8, I decided to play hockey. I went on playing, and hockey developed my character, to be honest. It made a shy and timid girl into a more confident one. And I decided that, okay, I just want to try, keep on going. And then I went on played district, state level, national, international. So that gave me a boost and it made me realize that no, this is it for me. I want to do something in sports. Coming into football, to be honest, it was a surprise decision for me also because that's after my, no doubt I used to play football, but hockey was my primary sport and football was my secondary sport.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
only after my sports management studies, which I did after my graduation. So after graduation, I did a postgraduate diploma in sports management. And it's only after that I decided that because I got an opportunity in football, I said, why not? And just go ahead and take the opportunity. And I am here now. So that's just the story behind hockey and football both coming together.
Yeah, I mean, like you actually broke all barriers, and then you went on to play national as well as international level. Hockey. That's like it's like a huge proud moment for like all Indians alike. And
Yeah.
now you're basically starting football as well. I mean, like you're coaching so many kids. You're like breaking everything because honestly, girls playing football. I mean, like if you see like right now, like world is kind of advancing, world is kind of progressing. That girls have also entered soccer, football, all these male dominated sports, as you can say. So like girls being in it is actually a very huge thing for like all women alike. And
Yes, yes, it is.
I would like to ask you this. You were an international hockey player, right? So I mean, like, why did you choose to become a football coach? I mean, like the transition between hockey to football.
I think it was I tried. So it's basically it's always important. I feel people know the success stories, but it's more important to know the struggle behind because I think your
The
struggles are the
backstory.
biggest lessons. Yeah, your struggles are the biggest lessons. Your success is something that people will look, and that's the fault where everyone goes wrong. I feel that people try to look only at the success today and they're like, oh wow, she's doing this and she's doing that. But I feel people should find out the real story behind it because struggle is something that everyone has to go through. It's not easy. So the backstory is that after my graduation, it took me almost 2.5 years to figure out that I wanted to do sports management because in hockey,
Oh,
I wasn't getting the right opportunity. Before that, I also tried around 7 to 8 jobs. I even tried a management company job, which I lasted for only 3 months because I couldn't do the 9 to 5 sitting in one place job, and it was just not me.
yeah.
I also worked as a sports in charge with a college in Kandivli and I used to just travel up, down and I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like I wanted to do something in hockey or in
Yeah,
sports, but this is just
you
not
start
something.
questioning everything, and then
Yes.
basically it's
So
like, yeah.
yes, so that went on for 2.5 years in my life, to be honest. After my graduation, and of course the questions and the expectations: when are you going to work? What is your future? What do you think you are going to do? All that was building up on me. But I decided to go and do my research, and I found out about sports management in our country. Back then, I'm talking about the end of 2014. That time, sports management was not that known. So I had to actually do the research. I went till the campus. I found out that there's something like this, and actually there was something called as sports management. I came back home.
Honestly,
I
I
told
didn't
my
even, I mean,
parents.
like, until you told me right now, I never knew that there was a course like sports management because, it's basically a series of your own things which go like behind every sports person. They have their own series that they go through and then they come out. And if you don't know what struggle is, so it just gets a little bit bumpy over there.
Yes. So I decided to find
Yes.
out. I went back home, spoke to my parents, and we belong to a middle class family. So, even to talk about the fee payment, it is a struggle. So I had to sit with my parents, discuss about the fees. It took us 2 weeks to decide that, okay, I will do sports management. And then that was it. I said, no, after this, I have to, because my parents have trusted me, I have to prove myself. So that year, it was only about studies and games for me. That's it. I didn't focus on anything else in life. And I managed to do well in both. I got the Student of the Year award for that year. I also won the gold medal for
Oh,
that batch. And I also played the senior nationals in Bangalore, the women's senior nationals in hockey. So that was my performance in sports management. And as it says, internships, all college going people know the big Lord name internship, which is so important for all of us. So
the important.
I had the
Uh,
pressure of, yes, the pressure for internship, and then I got an internship with Mumbai City FC, which is the club where I'm working now with. And I told myself, and as it's football, and what are you going to do? But then I decided you don't have any other option, so might as well just go there, try. If you can do something good, good enough. If you can't, then it's okay. You at least tried. I just went in, I
so
tried,
basically, it
and
was just a,
things worked
it
out
was
very
just
well.
a, so basically,
It
it was
it was like
basically trial and error.
yes, and basically, I think I proved myself a point where we get scared to take decisions because we feel we won't be able to do it. I mean, I still tell myself that, Tanaz, if that day you would have doubted yourself, today you wouldn't be here. If you wouldn't take that opportunity, you wouldn't be here. So it's always, it's about taking that leap of faith and just trying something new and proving yourself and
Yeah.
just working hard. And now it's been almost 5.5 years that I am with the club, and I'm just growing along with the club there.
You've been with like that decision since 5 years, and then you've just made it into something very huge. That is a very proud moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what is your basic favorite moment from like from your matches? Either it's hockey or like football, or like when you were coaching. What was your favorite moment? Like one which you can't
I
forget.
think I think in hockey it was I think it was in 2013. Yes, we were playing sub junior national, sorry, junior nationals in Hyderabad, and I was the captain of the team. And before the trip was fully filled with drama for me because a week before we could leave for the tournament, I was diagnosed down with jaundice. And I was like, I don't know,
Oh
I
my
didn't want to
God.
miss because that was my last year. And I was announced as the team captain, and I just went
Oh
to my
wow.
doctors and I told them I want to play this tournament. They're like, but your body is not fit. I said, I don't care. I will do anything. Just give me medicines that will keep me just get me back in zone or something. I remember in a day I almost got 28 tablets in dose wise, and I made sure I reached there. The first game, of course, I couldn't play that well. I was playing, coming back, having ORS, and because I was still with jaundice, and jaundice was just leaving me. But I decided I want to play that tournament, and the best part is we won the third place after 36 years. So that gives me a big
Oh my
boost because
God. That
yeah,
is
because
that is very huge. Yeah.
it's very huge because 36 years and Team Mumbai had not won that title, and I was leading the team and we won. I got goosebumps again thinking of that. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
so that is one thing in my hockey career which gives me a good. I think it leaves a good memory with me. When it's about football, it's that moment when I saw some young girls and their mothers who didn't know what girls could do in football, and they just came one day to me and they were asking like we never had anyone like you. Like the mothers told me, we never had anyone like you to guide us when we were young, or else today rather than getting married and taking care of our families, we would be doing something for ourselves in sports. But we won't let that happen with our daughters, so we want our daughters to be guided by you. And all those little girls are actually playing in some of the other clubs right now, or they are playing for their school team. So they have been in the field just because my presence, or they saw me and they thought that, okay, yeah, this is also something that girls can do. So that's the other good memory for me that that gives me a good kind of boost in football.
Now that actually gave me goosebumps because when I was a kid, I also, like was always behind, ki, like I want to play sports. And my mom used to be like, you have to, but then you have to search for the correct person also that you can entrust. And
Right.
when you come to college also, it's basically like now it's your career move. And I mean, like, it's basically like it's either choose sports or choose, like studies. It just becomes that kind of a thing in college time. So yeah, I got
Right.
goosebumps when you just said that. Yeah.
I've
So
gone through that too. That is I would like to address because it's all college going people listening to me right
yes.
now. I have got that endless number of them because my mom is very strict about studies. She always told me, you want to continue with your sports, you can continue, but your studies have to be something that you're keeping up with. So let it be my 10th, let it be my 12th, let it be my graduation or my post graduation. I made sure I was in A grade. But yes, this has come to me. Like there was 2 days when my mom didn't allow me to go on field because she said, no, you have to make sure. And I was like, no, this is serious. So, that balance came into me in a good way because we end up taking it sometimes bad in a bad way where we think that, okay, yeah, no, we have to choose and, okay, forget it, sports are gone and, we'll just focus on studies. And we end up not doing good on studies also. I've seen that so many times. But if you
Yes.
decide for
Exactly.
yourself that you can manage both, you can do both. I think it's pretty easy for every individual to do it, but it's only here. If you tell yourself here that you can do it, then only it's possible. If you take it into a negative way, you won't be able to do anything. So yeah,
That's
I've faced that too.
yeah. That again comes like a sportsmanship. It's either like, I mean, like you basically have to balance both of them. Otherwise, I mean, like there's always family pressure when it comes to that because, not everybody gets successful in sports. And how do I say this? I mean, if you are studying, you'll get some or the other job and you can, like prioritize and just go up. You can just go up the ranks. But when it comes to sports, you need like mental pressure, mental stability, emotional stability, as well as physical strength also. So you need to cope up with a lot of
Yes,
things. So when it comes to like family things, people actually kind of, say things like, "Kyun karna hai? You can just study and go forward. Why do you want to take risks
yes,
in life?" So it's very
yes,
crucial when it comes to that. Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, like honestly speaking, like guys get a lot of, like they have a bigger like place to explore things. When it comes to girls, they were like it's kind of difficult for girls to also explore sports as well. So like in terms of career, if you can say, I mean, like you don't see like a lot of girls making career out of sports. It's basically very few. And it's like, by god, it's good that girls are also advancing in this thing. But like, how can we inspire more girls to pursue a career in sports as general, like to like they can also be like, yes, there is a career in sports. They don't have to sideline them.
I think that has a very big role to be played when it comes to creating awareness. I feel there is less awareness. Like as you said, you didn't know about what sports management is.
Exactly.
When
Yes.
I was done with my graduation, even I didn't know what sports management is until I went out and I did a Google search and I found out. Like the thing is our country has still not mainstreamed the story of sports being a career. It's now that it's growing. Now you see like professional jobs, professional institutes. Back then it wasn't there. Since I think donkey's
Yes.
ages, we have learned doctor is a job, engineering is a job, becoming a teacher is a job, and
Yes.
these are the known jobs. That's it.
These are the
What
stereotypes
is
that
sports? Oh my
people have
god, you
said.
can't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And honestly, as I told you, in my family, people thought that I would either become a doctor or a CA. That's it. Because I was good in maths and science. Science में good
Uh,
है तो doctor बनेगी. Maths में good है तो CA
Management.
बनेगी. And
Yeah.
that went on. Neither I did CA, neither nor I came into doctors anything. I'm into sports. So I think the main thing is about creating awareness and letting women also know what is the career option. Before creating an awareness for females, you need to create awareness for parents because parents
Yes,
need to know
definitely.
what exactly is the opportunity line. Because the pressure thing comes down from parents, it doesn't come from anywhere else. Even if a kid decides, they actually go and take permission from the parents. So I always
Yeah.
support two things. One is parents awareness, and one is awareness among females about the career options in sports. I think once we start doing programs, and I personally try to do this, I try to connect to as many parents as possible, or female programs or female NGOs where, we can go out there and let them know the opportunities that are available. Now, something which is not very gender specific, but which is just general, let it be for boys or for girls or for anybody, is
Yes.
about balancing your study choice along with sports. Now, some say
Yeah.
they want to take science only, but science and sports cannot go together because science mein bahut padna hota hai and sports is about playing.
Yeah.
I feel there is a connection because now in sports also you have a professional team of doctors, let it be physios, let it be vision makers, let it be your orthos everywhere. So science also has a place in sports. When it's about commerce,
Sport.
again you can connect commerce to sports. You can connect engineering also to sports because now you have data analysis, you have and one whole analytic team which is more about engineering knowledge that is related to sports. So, you can turn all your mainstream studies also towards sports. But the problem is there is no awareness. So, people need to go out there and create more awareness about how an engineer can also fulfill his or her dream to be connected to a sport that he or she likes because it is possible now. First, people didn't know what it was, but now I think sports are also technology driven. There is n number of things
Yeah.
like an IPL or an ISL is going on now. And the best thing to get audience on field is to have a screen, like, the fan screen, where people are
Yeah.
just sitting behind their screens at their homes, but they can be seen on the ground. That's an, that's something new. So,
That
there
is a
are
new
many
strategy
different
they've come up.
advancements that have
Yeah.
taken place. I mean, players do wear devices. Yes, player-aware devices where you can actually count which second of which match did he or she run in what speed. That is science and technology. That's more about engineering. So,
Yeah.
we need to create more awareness about all these things being interrelated and how this can be used in sports. So, I think the biggest thing that is missing is awareness. Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays, I mean, like, if you even watch a match, it's basically all about the sports people playing and everything. Nobody actually looks at what's going on behind. Nobody knows that, yeah, actually, it's all calculated and everything. Because, for
Yes.
example, if you see, like, if a batsman is hitting a six, all the distance calculated and everything, I mean, like, it's going on side by side. So, I mean, it's
Yes.
a huge thing as well. I would like to
Yes.
ask you this question as well. Like, if you can like see like the generation, like the current generation right now, and the like the parents' generation, there's a huge generational gap between us. So I mean, like we are trying to progress through a lot of things, and our parents are yet, I mean, like they are still. I wouldn't say orthodox. I mean, like they're still learning, yes, but they're still quite inclined to the, as you said, the लड़की होगी तो फिर डॉक्टर लड़का होगा तो engineer, that kind of thing, like they're basically more into mainstream things. So I mean, like as a student, what would like what I mean, like what would I like even like talk to my parents about? Because it's honestly, it's not really easy to talk to parents about like, listen, I want to do this
Yeah.
also, because they think ki, nahi, you will get it'll get create some kind of distraction to you. It's going to affect you some or the other way. And it's there are always counter reasons ready with them ki, like, nahi, ye mat karo. So I mean, like what would you say about that?
I think for that, to be honest, I can very well relate to what you're saying because it's not that I didn't go through it. I went through all of that. But I had to be rebellious, to be honest. I had to be very firm on my stand, on my decisions. And more importantly, I had to keep proving myself. And that is what is important. Because the belief of your parents will stay in place only if you prove them right, and that is a very dicey situation, to be honest, because
Yes.
no one wants to do that. But in my case, my parents, I think I'll be very honest, they were pretty okay enough to understand my choices. No doubt there were questions raised, but then they always said, no, yeah, let's put our trust in her. I know that not all parents do that. I have seen some of my friends. I mean, most of my friends have actually got married now and they have kids, and they're nowhere into sports. And I feel bad. I feel bad that, oh God, she used to play so well. We were always together, and but it's
Yeah.
fine. Like it's you can't do anything. But yeah, I mean, for such parents, again, it's important to help create, like, how we have syllabus for kids. They tell us, like, which time you need to keep updating yourself, like your phones also. If there's a new version, you update it, correct?
Yes,
That's the same
yes,
that has to be with parents. And now, right now, it's like a 50-50. 50% of them are ready to upgrade, and that's why there are people who are trying different options. There are kids who are getting those opportunities. 50% of them are scared because the competition in our country is on a little bit of a negative side, I can say. We are still not, we are still developing. So that's the reason, that's the parents' concern. I do not prove them wrong, because I understand they have seen the blunt phase of life where, earning was
yes,
difficult, how to get a job was difficult. So they want their kids to do better in life, and that's the reason that pressure comes. But I feel if you know what you want to do in the very first place, you can actually put in a good show of your own efforts and prove to your parents that no, I this is what I want to do. I mean, I still remember that there was one computer classes where my parents had enrolled me in, and trust me, I just attended for some months and I just left it because that wasn't going in my head. I didn't know what HTML was. I didn't know what C plus was doing or Java was doing or nothing. I was like, this is something I can't do. And that was just after my 12th. Why? Because you have to keep yourself engaged. And I told my parents I can't do this. I don't mind practicing twice a day. And they got a bit offended. But then now they know that, those days when I fought back and when I actually took a stand for myself, and they knew that okay, this one would do something. But today when they see me, and today now when they see, like, I am addressing various people and people are looking at my story and trying to learn from it, then they know that okay, they did a good thing by just letting me do stuff a bit freely. Because if they wouldn't give me that space, if they wouldn't give me that freedom, I wouldn't be here. So I think for parents it's important, and as you as a college going person, it's important that you yourself from your journey prove to your parents that you know what you want to do, and this is what you're trying to do, and they just need to give you the support and the right kind of space to do it. Yeah.
yeah. It's basically like if you prove your parents wrong in one situation, they will, like they will basically be like, "Acha, theek hai, maan jate hai." So yeah, so that's the only
Correct.
way. So guys, if you're listening, if you want to get your things done, just prove your parents wrong. So I want to ask you this question:
It's
what is
because,
the
yeah,
yeah? No,
it's
no, go on,
because,
go on.
their generation is different. Yeah, their generation is different. Theirs is a different thing. Ours is a different thing. And I always tell them, I tell my mom, Mama, y'all used to use Nokia 1110. We are on a OnePlus.
Yeah,
It's a different thing. And then she tells me, no, no, it's okay. I don't understand whatever you say. You go your own thing. So that's, you need to make
exactly.
them realize that everything is upgrading, and we need to upgrade with time. They will get it, no doubt. They become a bit stiff, but they will get it. I think their parents, they always want something good for us. So once you try explaining it
Yeah.
to them, they just don't want us to face that difficult situation in life, but show them that you are strong enough to face the difficult, still go ahead. I think that's the only thing that will let your kids go and do what they want to.
I mean, that's actually the only thing that will help us. So, yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
what has been the most challenging moment in your entire career, like, until now?
I think challenges are something which we face on daily basis, I can say. And I'm someone
Yes.
who focuses very less on negativity. Like, I do not like to focus on negative part. Let it be a challenge, let it be a phase in life. I've always tried to make myself a very positive person. I always like to take the positive outcome about anything. Challenges, of course, yes. I had few of my people, like, very close people who were actually my seniors, or say, very close to me,
Yeah.
go to extents to actually degrade my name in a way, because of the kind of work I was doing. I was actually growing, and it doesn't go down well with people, but they did go to some extent to spoil my name or whatever. But I'm glad enough. I just cried for 2 days because it was
Oh,
a lot to bear. I
yeah.
had that breakdown. I gave myself that space that okay, Tana, it's fine, feel it. It's fine to feel things. But then I also told myself, now go out and prove yourself. So after 2 days, the third day, I was back on my feet. I said, okay, now I will prove myself. And then in an 8 to 9 months long journey, they actually, all of them had to come and write an apology. They had to sign a paper. So I think that was more challenging for me, where you get setbacks from people who you know. But again, it
Yeah,
was the biggest learning to tell myself that no, Tanaz, just believe in yourself and believe in no one else. Even if people are trying to be
because
good to you, just take it in that way. Don't try to sugarcoat things. Yeah, it's fine. It's
yeah.
fine. I mean, these challenges help you become a better person. I still tell myself all my challenges in life have helped me become who I am. No doubt, the success helps me grow, but success is the final stage. Challenges are the one that have taught me a lot, and challenges are the one that have helped me grow in life. So yeah,
What's life without challenges?
through that.
Yeah. So so I mean, like, of course, like, on a daily basis, as you say, you have challenges, you face challenges on a daily basis. So I mean, like, there is struggle, obviously. It's you cannot just say that you don't have struggle. So like, what is your approach towards the days of struggle, like, how do you just take it?
I I just try to, I think I go numb on those days, to be honest. I don't even try to talk. I don't even try to explain. I just try to process the whole thing because it's very important for us as individuals to feel everything that is happening. Let it be pain, let it be happiness.
Yeah.
Once you feel it, you need to accept it and then go ahead. So me, whenever there is a difficult day, I know I will have sleepless night. I won't sleep the whole night, but the very next day I will come and stand and face the world as if nothing happened. Or even there are days where I have come out and faced the world where people could see that, I have gone through something, but I am making sure that I am doing what I am supposed to do. So yeah, I actually, when these days hit me, I try to be numb. I try to think, and the final sentence that keeps me going is that Tanas, this is a phase. It will pass. Don't give up. Just hold yourself strong. It will go. Maybe 1 day, 2 day, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. It will pass. Just hold on because it's a phase. Not every phase stays there for a very long time. It has to be there and then just go.
Yeah, I mean, like, you always say, like, you have to wake up and face the challenge head on the next day. You always have to get up, like, the next day, no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
So,
believe it's completely okay not to be okay, because these sentences have actually they've had a negative impact also, I can say, because people have started being harsh on themselves. Even when they feel they can't do anything, they will still try and do, and they become worse. So I always tell
yes.
it's okay to take a break. It's okay to be yourself. Just get yourself back together and then come and face things. It's not important just because you want to get something done. It's not important to be harsh to yourself. Don't be harsh. If you feel something is not treating you right or something doesn't make you feel right, take your time, take that space, and then go ahead and do things. So yeah, I mean, it's important to feel, but it's very important to take care of yourself too.
I mean, at like nowadays, where like mental health is actually a huge, thing right now, because people are actually paying attention to what exactly mental health is. So sometimes people are just, like, no matter how good they work, how hard they work, they always be like, hey, this is not enough. This is a very, like, common thing which goes around with people. For example, if a person writes something, a person is going to be like, if and he shows this to somebody else, he's going to be like, the other person is like, wow, it's nice. But then the person who has written it, he's basically like, nay, 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 I can do better. I mean, like, it's always right there,
Yeah,
and nothing satisfies us anymore. That's like, it's just written now,
true.
nothing satisfies us anymore.
I mean, when you
Yeah.
talk about mental health, there have been phases where I have found myself in a dark spot. Honestly, I do have anxiety. I get so worked up. Like even if there is an event 2 days back, from today onwards, I will be the most worked up person ever. I will try to make sure everything is in its place, and something goes here and there. But the other thing I have told myself is, and as accepted that okay, this happens and it's fine. If you need help, go out and reach for the right kind of help. Don't try to push yourself through things just because you want to show people you are normal. I think
Yeah.
I have realized that because there are phases in life, which, and we are grown days, life is difficult. Let it be your personal life, your love relation, your friendships, everything is so dicey, but we try to make everything so sugar coated and so perfect. I mean, people display the perfection out there, and we see that, and we want to run after that perfection. But I always tell myself, why run for perfection? Because nothing is perfect. Just be imperfect
Yeah.
and try to be yourself. That is more important rather than just reaching out for perfection. So yeah, that's more important, to accept the imperfect you, and just be there in it.
There are like a certain societal standards which people really want to achieve and everything. So they don't understand ki, like it's okay to be imperfect. It's fine. It's completely fine. You just have to be just like wake up the next day and work. That's it. People don't understand. They just keep on running behind the actual societal norms and everything. So I would like to ask you, can you describe what a typical, practice day looks like for you and your team? Actually, we have a technical issue. Just a second. We have some kind of, network issue from Tanaz's side. Just we'll be back in a second. Yeah, just stay put. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you back. Yeah, if
My internet here is pretty bad, and I am just having all my options. I have my router, I have my Wi-Fi, I have my phone. Everything is on. So whichever just dies, I just try to plug in. I'm so sorry about that.
yeah, that's fine. It's completely fine. So where were we? We were, yeah. I wanted to ask you, what does, can you describe a typical practice, day for your team? Like, what is your basic, outlook in a day, on a practice day?
I think my basic outlook is every kid or every player of mine who comes on field at least gets better in in their own performance. So, if today a kid could kick with their right leg, I would make sure that I will try and focus on that kid kicking the ball a little harder than what he or she did a day prior. Or even if a kid is calm, like, you understand from kid's body language. If I see a kid's body language which is low, I try to make sure that the session is such which lifts him up in a way, and then he or she, they are going back with a smile. So my sessions are always about helping everyone learn something, or let it be 0.1%. I don't want them to learn everything in one day, but that is also an achievement. I always tell my teams to be happy and celebrate every achievement. And achievement is not only supposed to be big, even a small achievement is an achievement, and you need to learn how to celebrate it. So that's the biggest motto of my team sessions, where every small achievement is also celebrated. So if a girl can kick today with her right leg, if tomorrow she kicks with her left leg, she'll be happy and like, oh ma'am, I kicked the ball with the left leg. I'm like, very good. Yeah. Now that's where we keep practicing. That's where we keep growing. It has to be more of a very positive environment. I don't believe, because I myself, I have seen those weird conditions, I could say, where, for not doing something, we were punished so brutally, and this, that. No doubt
Yes.
that is needed. That is needed, but I think at a very higher stage. But initially, like, I am in grassroots, so it's very important for me in a way to let kids know that it's a happy space. Not everything has to have very strict rules,
Harsh
and
outcomes and
yeah,
yeah.
it shouldn't be that harsh. I mean, sports is about enjoyment. Sports is about coming out and expressing your style on the field. So let it be very free, and let it be a happy zone. If you give kids that freedom, they actually learn on their own. If you hold someone's hand, and if you tell them write A like this only, for their entire life they will be writing A like that. But if you give them a freedom and tell them, okay, in as many styles you want to write the alphabet A, they might write in many other styles. So, it's always about giving them that freedom. It helps them in decision making and their creativity level. So those are the kind of sessions that I do during my
So
round games.
basically, it is like give the person their own box to draw in. Like you do whatever you
Yes,
want. That kind of a
yes,
freedom.
yes.
Yeah, well, that is very progressionist, I mean, like when it comes to that, because when we were old, people were like, aise hi karo. So it was like, I mean, like it's a good thing that we're adapting to new cultures.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
mean,
what's the best part? When you give them these chances, you actually see kids do so many things which you wouldn't even expect. You just give a kid a ball, but if you tell him or her, no, you have to kick this way, that kid will be doing that one thing only. But if you tell them, okay, here's the ball, whatever you can do, just show it to me, they actually go out, and my goodness, the kind of skills, the kind of tricks they display, it leaves me blown out some days. So, it's important to give them that freedom and let them be creative in their own way.
yeah. So
So,
I mean, like as a coach, what are your core values?
I think my core value is that there is no alternative to hard work. If
Yeah.
you think you can get something done easily, that will just last for some time. You need to work hard. Hard work is the key behind anyone's success, I can say. I mean, if you can't achieve something, you have to keep working hard towards it, and you will achieve. I mean, no one can take away your capability or your ability to work hard. So I always say, I always tell myself, and I tell my teams also, there is no alternative to hard work. So that's like my biggest mantra that I follow. And the next thing what I always follow is, it's okay to fail. I mean, we need to normalize failing. We need to let people
Yes.
know that your failures are also your learning points. You don't need to take your failure as something where you get a reason to quit and then you just give up on everything. That shouldn't be the story. It should always be something more than that.
Yes, as you say, failures are stepping stones to success.
Yes.
Being very cliche about it. Yes.
Yeah.
So during professional games and everything, how does the bench area look like? Because there's a lot of tension in the air, and people just are like, biting their nails and everything, like what's going to happen next and everything. So, like, I mean, like, I remember because being a sports person myself, whenever I was on the bench, I used to literally, I used to freeze because I feel like I don't know what's going to happen next. So it's always a very, tensed atmosphere right there. How does it look like for you?
So as a player, if I would say, of course, as a player, I hate being on the bench. I just hate.
Yes.
That's the worst thing my coach could
Well,
ever do to me.
why
Because
are you
even if
not letting me play
yes,
exactly?
because even if I'm called out for a breather, I will go out and I won't sit on the bench. I will be at the side, sitting down and just preparing, drinking water. And I'll be like, okay, coach, I'm ready. I'm ready. And, if it's a difficult situation. But if we are leading and, we are in a good spot, so we'll be all out, just chilling, watching the game. As a coach, for me, the one thing is that I am the brain that thinks about the game, and everyone, my players, know what they have to do, because I don't like to be the kind of coach who's standing out during games and yelling. I don't believe
Yelling,
in that.
yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't believe in that as a coach. I believe that whatever I want to train my players, I have to do it during the training sessions, and they will display what they learn during the training sessions during the game. So before the game, I just tell them that this is what we had learned. This is our technique today. This is what we have to do. Show me the best you can do in that. And inside, they're just playing. And as a coach, I'm just standing. You will hardly see me speak. The only time I will speak is, I just have to correct some positioning. That's the only time I speak. But I won't go, Arey, yaar, what are you doing here? And blah, 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 blah. My throat also goes for a toss. My head goes for a toss. The players are confused.
Reminds me of
Yeah,
my coach.
yeah, so the entire world is confused what is to be done, because see, the ones who are on ground, they know much better what is happening. No doubt I'm standing outside and seeing, but they have a better tuning together. So, I have told them what is to be done, they know what is to be done. If there is a point where they feel something is not working out, so they turn towards me and then they ask, now what? And then I guide them from outside. So that's the kind of communication. And my bench is always supposed to be quiet, because if I'm a coach, I don't want, if I am not yelling, I don't want my players to yell from behind. So I tell them,
Yeah.
pin drop silence. I don't want anyone yelling. Just let the ones who are inside do what they are, and you just keep yourself warm, because anytime anyone will have to go in. And yeah, that's about it. That's how it is for me.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you this very cliche question, but what inspired you to be an athlete, and what's your motto? What keeps you motivated every day?
I think inspiration, I look up to my parents, to be very honest, because my mom has played kabaddi during her school days. After
Oh,
that, of course, she's a graduate, and she's a teacher. My dad is a diehard sports fellow. He played cricket, but yeah, the story behind him is that during his time he didn't get the right kind of support. Like, when he wanted to play, there was not enough financial support, or the conditions in the house were not good enough to support him in his dreams. So when it came to me, taking up sports, I think I was, for me, every time I thought, if I'm doing something, it's because my dad wanted something and I am doing it instead of what he was doing, and it's a gift from me to him. So that's my inspiration. My parents have been the inspiration, because they like the fact that, okay, yeah, she's doing something. My mom is always happy because I balance my studies and my sports, and she was always supportive. My dad was always
that's
supportive. So
every
they have been,
parent's basic.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no way that I was no doubt I was getting the love also, but yes, there was strictness also maintained, because discipline is important. So discipline was maintained, and that entire, what to say, mixture ka product is sitting right in front of you. What my parents did, so they are the inspiration behind me.
Well, the
And
product
what
has
keeps
done
me
very well,
motivated,
I say.
yeah. And the thing that keeps me motivated daily is the fact that there are young people who are looking at me. I mean, initially when I started, I didn't know this would be the story, to be honest. But now, 5 years down the line, I know there are people watching me. I know there are random people, who just pop into my inbox in Instagram or Facebook and ask, ma'am, have you done this? Could you guide me? And then I understand, like, I was there some years back during that spot. I didn't have the courage to reach out to someone, but if someone thinks that they can reach out to me, so why not? So I think that is something that keeps me motivated to do well every day in my life. Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly really amazing. I mean, like, VIT is honestly very grateful that you have come today and talked about things today. I would like to ask the spectators who are watching, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to ask anything to Tanaz, because honestly, she is one of the sweetest people I've seen, and like, she'll surely like answer you guys. So, anybody?
What? Didi here. That's my cousin here who's just come
Oh,
to say hi.
hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Huh? What? Mama pass.
Mm.
Mama
She's
pass.
very cute.
Yeah, she is always around me.
Yeah. So there's a question from one of our audience. Were
Yep.
you a topper?
Please don't feel bad, but in my postgraduate, yes, I was a topper. I didn't mean
I
to be a
am
topper,
being
but I
very
think,
modest when I say this.
yeah, but I was good in study, because to be honest, I didn't have uh any such habits where I invested myself in, to be very honest. Now you're all college going, so I think I can talk about this. I promised myself as a kid, or say as a teenager, that until I am 25, I won't do any exploring activities in my life. जो भी करना है, whatever, खुद के मजे करने हैं, very good baby, जो भी खुद के मजे करने हैं वो मैं बाद में करूंगी when I start earning. But when I am with my
Yeah.
parents, I will work hard. So that is one motto, and I always feel that now there is so much of exposure around. People are all haywire. They don't know what they
Yeah.
should focus on. Some want a perfect relationship because there are others displaying a perfect relationship on Instagram. Some want a perfect lifestyle because people are showing that perfect lifestyle, but uske piche ka story na, no one is showing, no one is talking. I feel
Very
you need to,
superficial. Yeah.
yes, you need to first focus on yourself, build yourself, work on yourself, your education, your career choices. will never leave you. They will always be with you. They will always be with you. So it's very important to focus. So when you ask the question that if I was the topper, I was a grade student in my SSC. I was a grade student in my 12th. In HSC, I was A plus. Sorry, in graduation, I was A plus, and in my postgraduate, I topped my batch. So yeah, but that was because I didn't focus on many other things. Very,
Yeah,
very true enough on that.
let's just give it that you're being very modest right now. So there's another question. Were you a backbencher?
Sports. So yes, I was a backbencher. That's the reason everyone was confused. I was a backbencher, and
Yet you
along
were
with
a
that, I
topper.
ended up doing well because I told you, focus. I was very focused. I didn't want to have distractions in life. No doubt, I had good times. I have a bunch of good friends. I do enjoy life. I do explore things, but there is always time for it. But when our parents have spent so much for us, and we are coming and sitting in a school or say in a classroom bench in a college bench, college classroom, you need to just focus, study, and that's it. If you focus in your class, let it be backbench or front bench, your focus is focus. If you focus, that is what you'll write in your exams, and that is something that will help you. So why not? I mean, if it's for our good, why not?
Yeah. So the another question from Viraj is how was the transition from hockey to football?
Honestly, it was very challenging for me personally. Trust me, I've had sleepless nights because I used to get scared on my own ability. I used to doubt. I used to wonder, how will I do this? How will I do that? I mean, I didn't know things very well. It was like, I was a girl in a new country, I could say, and I didn't know the whereabouts and how to move around in this country. That was the kind of situation for me. I mean, even I've even heard people tell me, "Arey, you're to from hockey, go back to hockey. What you'll do in football?" Like those were the kind of questions raised. But I said that no, Tanas, focus on yourself, focus on your journey, and you will do something good. And here I am. So it was challenging, but I think the good fact was that I decided not to give up and I just decided to hold myself strong and go through it. And I am glad I did that. And here I am sitting right in front of you today.
Yes, I mean it worked out pretty good. So
Yes, it did.
another question from Kedar is, ma'am, would you like to give any sort of message to all the alumni present right there for their bright future in India's national game, that is hockey?
I mean, with hockey, there's a lot that needs to be done. Also, there is a lot that is happening. If you can support the national sport, then please go ahead and support. I mean, it is the national sport, no doubt, but I think it's only a few states that recognize the game the way it has to. I mean, you see a lot of hockey happening in Orissa, or say Punjab, or say in Karnataka. These are like the hubs. In Mumbai, in Maharashtra, there are people there, but it's like a niche market. There are people who are trying to keep it up, but it's pretty rare. So if you, as an alumni, or if you can do anything for the sport, try making it big for the game. I mean, there needs to be more awareness. There needs to be. I mean, if you're talking only about Maharashtra, get the life back in grassroots in the sport. I mean, grassroots is where the future lies. So, start working with kids, try doing some work with kids, try creating awareness with parents. And, that's how the entire game will grow. And on the country level, also, there needs to be a lot of culture building. Like, you see some countries, like if you talk Brazil, it's football because it's Brazil and it's
Yes.
football. So, they are known for it. That is something that our country also needs to do. I mean, now football has reached to a level, hockey's also reached to a
Yeah.
level, but our country as a whole doesn't have a culture. We need to start building. We have many other cultures, and that's good too. But we need to spread the sporting culture. Once we have a culture of sports in our country, then there's no looking back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that answers people's questions. And honestly, you're an amazing person and like a great sports person as well. I really enjoyed talking to you, and VIT is eternally grateful that you've made it today. And I really, really, really like to thank you for coming. So, thank you so much, Tanaz.
Thank you so
And
much, Anusha. And the only thing, like, if anyone, there are many people watching. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, I personally feel I'm pretty approachable. you have questions,
Yes.
please feel free to drop by in my inbox on Instagram or Facebook,
Yes.
wherever you're comfortable. Just reach out. And the other thing that I would like to tell all the college going people is follow people with real stories. Yeah, everyone. We nowadays we follow a lot of people who are just there, and we want to just shine like them. But I feel follow people with real stories. Then you will be able to connect and take yourself ahead. Don't go for superficial things. It's very important to know the reality also. So yeah, all the best to everyone. Hope you all have a good time, and thank you so much for having me. And
Yes.
that's it. Take
Yeah,
care.
we're dropping Tanaz's Instagram handle in the comments. Just go and follow her. Definitely follow her. You'll actually enjoy all the new updates that she's gonna give. It's gonna be really amazing. Please go follow her. Thank you so much, Tanaz.
Thank you so much, Anisha.
Yeah. So now I'd like to call upon Mr. Shubham Vanmali, an international open water swimmer, the recipient of the highest sports honor by the government of Maharashtra, the Shiv Chhatrapati Award of 2019. He is also the CEO of his own production house, Tarpa Productions, which is growing enormously under his direction. He has completed 4 out of 7 ocean challenge, which is the biggest challenge in the open water swimming. As a child, he battled dyslexia. I mean, like everybody knows about, ADHD and dyslexia. But then that did stop him from achieving his goals, and is still on a challenge to complete his toughest challenges in swimming. He's the youngest and the first Asian to complete the San Francisco Bay Angel Island swim. He's making us proud every day, and his list of achievements are never ending. Surely, there are too many of them. At 25 years old, his aim is to spread awareness about learning disabilities, breaking all barriers, and constantly challenging himself to create more records. He's one of the fastest swimmers of Asia, and he's the youngest male swimmer of the world 2014, which has been recorded in the Guinness Book of Records. That is huge. He has been honored multiple times for triple of open water swimming for swimming the English Channel, the Catalina Channel, and the Manhattan Island. His list of achievements are like so long, we might have to extend the event to finish them. It's such an honor to have you with us. I'd like to welcome Mr. Shubham Vanmali.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi, how are you? How's it been going for you?
It's been quite hectic. The work's been quite hectic, and with the lockdown and everything, things have been difficult. Won't lie, but trying to do my best.
Yeah, it's been an absolute honor to have you with us today. And so, I mean, like the lockdown is actually treating pretty hard because being a sports person, I mean, like staying inside is like very restricting, and your sport requires like a huge space. I mean, like you require a basic pool, so it's actually kind of so. So who was the first person you looked up to in your journey of swimming? Like, what was it? Who was it?
So,
Um,
being from a sports background, I've always looked up to my father and my mother. So, my mother was a national volleyball player. My father was my mother was a national kabaddi player. My father was a national volleyball player,
wow.
and yeah, and they were always supportive towards it. So I always looked up to them. Like even when I was growing up as a kid, my father played till he was 35,
Okay.
representing Bharat Petroleum, and he had to stop when he had a ligament tear while playing.
Oh,
So yeah, so I always admired them, and they were my motivation throughout the journey. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, like your father being a national volleyball player, and your mom being a national kabaddi player, you always had sports influence in your life. I mean, like that's definitely a plus point when it came to you being into swimming, right?
Yeah, yeah, always. Because even my sister, my younger sister, she is also a national swimmer. So my father always had the idea of sports was to involve yourself in something that builds up your personality. So more than anything, he wanted us to be in sports for the discipline, for the things it teaches you, for the real life lessons it teaches you. So that's what his ideas were behind us going into sports. Because me as an athlete, I was very below average athlete, like from like at the start. And I when I started swimming, after starting swimming, it took me around 4 to 5 years. After that, I received my first medal ever. And for with our country and everything being so competitive, but with our everybody around us being so competitive with everything, it's very rare to see a parent letting their child just enjoy the sport and not
Yeah.
get any um, materialistic benefit out of it.
Yeah.
And my father was with that ideology, and that's the reason I am where I am.
I mean, like your family is a family of prodigies. Everybody is a national level, some sport person. I mean, like you are breaking barriers by becoming the international one. But like your mom is a national level, your dad, your sister. I mean, like that's actually a huge deal. And would you like to tell our audience what exactly open water swimming is? Because when it comes to swimming, people basically think of like an indoor swimming pool and just, like people just
Mhm.
doing laps around it. And nobody
Right.
basically thinks of a person swimming in an open water, like in the ocean. Honestly, before like meeting you, I never knew what open water swimming was. And I
Right.
love swimming. I have done my research when it comes to that. And still I didn't know. So I mean, like, can you just tell our audience about that?
Yes, yes. So open water swimming is basically like the word itself describes it. Swimming in the open waters. So how it is different from swimming pool swimming is that it's divided into two categories. One is a competitive open water swimming, and one is the ultra long distance swimming. So I've been doing both competitive open water swimming also and the ultra long distance open water swimming also. So when I talk about ultra long distance open water swimming, I am basically talking about swimming from one country to another. So, for example,
Okay,
my
wow.
first international open water swimming was from England to France, English Channel. It's
Okay.
the busiest shipping lane in the world, and it's a distance of around 31 kilometers and 31 to 35 kilometers, and it took me around 12 hours 42 minutes to finish that swim at a stretch.
So you
Yeah.
were
So
swimming for 12 hours continuously.
yes, yes, and
That is a huge deal. Oh
with
my God.
yeah, and how it works is like I am swimming, and it's not a race. It's like an expedition where you are swimming by yourself, and you have a boat next to you just to show you the way, because you need to be guided through the course. When you say you're swimming from England to France, you see the straight line, which is the 35 kilometers. But the reality is you swim in the S shape, and
Okay.
because it's a channel, so the waves go in a zigzag manner. So sometimes you have been pushed up in the channel, sometimes you are pushed down in the channel, and so you end up making an S, which automatically increases your distance to around 40 to 50 kilometers at the end of the swim.
Okay.
Yeah, and every swimmer
So,
swims it different. Yeah, if you have a very good day and if the water is flat, you might swim the actual distance, which is a straight line, but which
yeah.
is very rare, very rare. And most of us open water swimmers swim in a S shape.
I mean, like when you are in the oceans, I mean, like, and it's never calm. I mean, like, when is it actually calm? There's like so many factors. There's wind. There's like a lot of like current and everything. And the most important fact, which actually terrifies me, is that it's very deep. I mean, you cannot just like leave and be like, "Hey, there will be a floor," because you cannot. There's no floor. flow. It's like just endless water. It terrifies me. How do you feel about that?
So the thing is, like, I've been swimming for so many years that it's become kind of a second nature. So you will basically, I can swim more distance than I can actually run or walk. I'm like a fish out of water. And so it's like if
Oh,
you if the
our very own Aquaman.
so depth is never the issue because we don't have to go under the water, right? We have to just swim over it. So, but the thing that terrifies most of us is that what is underneath. So when you're
Yes,
swimming, you're
definitely.
looking down. You're probably 6 hours in the swim, and you're at a stage of like you're right in between the swim, and that's when you look down and you don't see anything, but you see at the depth. You don't see the
Ocean bed, yeah, obviously.
bottom, yeah, the ocean bed.
Yeah.
You just see the depth, and something pops out. What if you see something moving? It scares a lot of people.
Exactly. It's actually really terrifying to know that. Because honestly, there's so many movies made out. Like, I know it's fiction, yet basically,
Yeah,
the fact that it's nothing down there. Like, it's like when you look down, even if you like wearing goggles and everything, it's very clear. And you look down and it's just a black mass. So, you can never rest. So, like, it's a very overwhelming, like feeling, I would say. So,
yes, it is.
yeah. So I would like to ask you, what was your biggest obstacle in swimming, and how did you
So
overcome
the
them?
so the biggest obstacle I would say ever I have faced in my life was that phase of not getting any medals from for 4 5 years of the initial stage of my swimming. That was the biggest obstacle because and it was me. I started swimming at around 9, and I actually started getting medal around when I was around 13, 14, 15-year old. And 15 was
Okay.
the age where I actually started performing really well, where I was at all India level. But that phase where when you're a kid and you have to go through 4 5 years of not really performing, and the peer pressure you go through in that phase is extreme because kids can be heartless at times, and
Yes.
that peer pressure, yeah, the peer pressure gets to you, and you can hear people talking about you. And but my luckily my father was very supportive, and after every event, when I used to come back with a participation certificate, he used to be like, "No worries, you're doing this for fun. Like, never forget to have fun in the event. Never forget why you swim.
Yeah.
You swim because you enjoy swimming. It's your something you love to do." And during that phase, what happened was we realized. So it's around when I was in ninth standard when Tare Zameen Par came out. So before that,
Yeah.
I was going through this phase where I was bad at studies, I was bad at sports, I was extremely I had no coordination, and I had this fog, this gray space in me that I don't understand why am I behind? Why am I behind? Like why am I behind everybody so much? And I couldn't understand because the thing was I am reading with the other person. Okay, for example, I'm writing with another person. I am trying to read at the as fast as I can, but I cannot match up to an average speed at all. I'm trying to process things as fast as I can, but I cannot match up to them. I'm trying to learn as much as I can, but I can't match up to them. So the grade has really confused me throughout that phase. And even with the communication with dyslexia, it's like there was a communication gap between me and the second person. So there used to
Yeah.
be
As a
communication gap.
kid, yeah, as a kid,
Yeah,
when you basically are like trying to figure out why am I slow, it's actually takes a toll on you when you can say that, because you're
it
like,
does.
why am I not able to, like be at the same pace as the other people? So
Yes,
yeah.
it does. It does. It definitely does. And why? in that phase, even it was affecting my studies as well as it was affecting my swimming, my sports. But later on, when the movie came out, when my parents actually came to know that something like this exists, because back then nobody knew until unless the movie was out. A lot of parents didn't know that
Yeah.
something like learning disability exists. And we got myself tested, and then we came to know that yeah, I was dyslexic, dysgraphic, and ADHD, and which made
Okay.
us complete sense. Like why? The reason was right in front of us. It was right in front of me, and we started working on it. So we started to like we knew the cause of the problem. We started to work on it, and we had the plan of action. And I started going to a lot of counseling, and the counselor is still with me. So after
Oh,
that, it was a turning point for me, and then I started actually performing after that.
so it was basically like you finally discovered ki like yeah, I it's not a basic thing. It's not anything. I do have something. I have dyslexia. I have ADHD, and I have to overcome them. So I mean, like you started
Yeah,
working on them, and then you kind of step them off. So that is actually really amazing because I mean, like seeing Tare Zameen Par, everybody had such a heavy heart. Ki like that guy is going through so much. It's not his fault. Also, it's nobody's fault. It's just how it is, and people just like have a lot of kind of soft heart towards that and everything. So like
true.
I wanted to back to swimming. I wanted to ask you. You've swum the English Channel, right? This as
Yes.
well as the Strait of Gibraltar and the Catalina Channel and the Manhattan Island. What was your most favorite swim out of that?
See, all swims are difficult and different in their own ways. You cannot really pick one swim which can be called as favorite, and every swim had a different adrenaline rush to it. Like the English Channel, it was chaotic. It was absolutely chaotic. Waves were going from one direction, the wind was blowing from one direction. I ended up having my ligament
Oh,
tendon ruptured, then sorry, a hamstring tendon ruptured, then ended up one leg was dead, another leg got hit by the propeller. I was swimming with my arms for like uh, half of the swim. Then that was a complete different adrenaline rush compared to something like State of Gibraltar. We finished our swim on 4th of August. If you look at the bio, and it's like I swim the English Channel on 4th of August. I am absolutely dead. Like my body can't move. I can't move. I can't literally move. Like I am on my bed. My mother is feeding me everything. I cannot move from the bed. It's destroyed. Second day, my father mails the president of Gibraltar Swimming Association that we are done with the English Channel swim. It's success, and we plan to come to State of Gibraltar. And my date of State of Gibraltar was from 20th of August for 10 days. Like from 20th to 30th, I
okay,
guess it was, yeah, it was blocked because it's a very windy swim. So
okay,
Gibraltar starts from Tarifa, and Tarifa is the windsurfing capital of Spain. So you
okay,
can imagine the amount of wind they have. So
yeah,
when my father mailed him, he replied back by saying that you have to come before 15 because there is a storm coming, and the swim
okay.
will be might not happen because of that. So we decided to fly on 14th of August. Like this is 10 days after my swim. I'm barely recovered, and I don't think twice. My father is like, let's go and see what happens. We fly on 14th of
Just
August
give it a
because my
try.
visa, yeah, because when we checked the visa was from 14th of August, and he wanted us to come before 15th, and we couldn't go before that, before 14th, because the visa started from 14th of August. And we decided to fly on 14th of August. We reached the Malaga airport. It's it took us 10 hours from the taxi journey to the airport, from the airport
Oh
to
my
there.
god.
I had barely eaten anything. And when I reached the Malaga airport, we gave the call to the cabbie. The association president was like, give the phone to the cabbie. The cabbie took the phone, and he drove us right to the starting point of the swim. And the association president comes, Rafael, and he takes the bags, puts it on the boat, and he goes like, "Get ready, you have to swim right now because the wind is coming, wind is picking up, you won't be able to swim after this. If the wind passes, like wind starts, the heavy wind starts. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, what can I do? Let's give it a shot. What do you need? Anything? He asked me, like, just get me some banana and water. I just had one banana, I had some water, and I started off the swim. And I was so frustrated. There was so much anger in me that I channelized all the anger in the swim, and we ended up with a new Asian record.
Yes, you were basically the youngest Asian who and the fastest Asian who can pass the Strait of
Fastest.
Gibraltar. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, honestly, you were like bedridden like 10 days ago because you had a tendon ligament rupture, and then
Yeah.
like your legs were dead, and then you were basically on the bed, and yet I mean, like, that is crazy, honestly. I mean, like, hands down, that's amazing. You found respect, man.
Thank you.
So,
So
yeah.
yeah, every
So,
swim is different. Like, and even when it comes to some swim like Catalina, when I was swimming in Catalina in Pacific, the swim starts at 10 p.m. and it starts in night. And while swimming, there came a point where, if any one of you have seen Life of Pi, where the
yeah.
bioluminescent plankton start glowing.
Oh
That
my
was the
God,
phase
that's
I was in. It was one of the
beautiful.
most
Yeah.
beautiful scenic view I've seen. Like, I could see the boat's lights were off, uh, and it had the glow sticks around it so that I can spot the boat. And it was beautifully
Yeah.
covered in the glow sticks, and the water was completely blue, lit with bioluminescent planktons, and I'm swimming in between that. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So
It,
every
it's
swim
it's
has a different thing to share. Yeah.
it sounds really, because like I think Life of Pi also had the biggest a biggest plus point was the fact that they were in that area where it was like entire bioluminescent plants and everything. It was the most
Yeah.
beautiful thing, and like, we wish that we could see that, and you were swimming through that, and that, I think that's one of your best favorite memories now. So yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
In
Yes,
open water,
definitely.
yeah. So in open water swimming, so basically you have to swim for hours, right? I mean, like, as you told, you've swum for like 12 hours straight and everything. And it's not a pool, and it's an endless ocean, endless bottomless ocean. I'll correct myself there. So, like, what are the things that go in your mind? Because honestly speaking, I think one of the basic points is like there is nothing below. You cannot just rest your feet and be like there will be a, like, ground there and be like, yeah, take care, I'll take 1 second gap and then I'll go. Because you can't do that. You constantly have to kick your legs, even if you are like to float. You need to do that. So, like, what are the
Yeah.
basic things which go on in your mind?
So, I when before the swim, what goes on in my mind, or during the swim also, that I am very much kind of a person that goes in his own trance, and like, I will have my feed, and so we basically have everything sorted out. I have a complete team. It's whenever we talk about my swim, I always say we, because it's a big team behind me. For example, there will be a dietitian, there will be a physiotherapist, there will be a fitness advisor, there will be sports counselor. So
Yes.
you can see everything is sorted out. And while swimming, all I have to do is swim for the next speed. So when I'm swimming, I know everything is taken care of. My nutrition is on point. My everything is on point. All I have to do is survive from one feed to another, from one feed to another. So when I say feeds, it's like every hour or every half an hour, I stop in the water. And how the swim works is, to feed yourself, you need to stop in the water. And usually I prefer 1 hour breaks or 45 minutes breaks. So it's all prescribed on the
Okay.
list where yeah,
Find.
I plan it out. Yeah, the coach and everybody plans it out. And then, according to that, I have to take a stop between the swim, float in the water, not touch the boat, and I get my gel, or else something to eat, or else a carbohydrated drink. I gulp it down in like 20 seconds, because if you float too much, you will be drifting away. So you can't waste time in that.
Okay.
And if you float for longer, then you have higher chances of going into hypothermia, because at times the swims we do are in 9 degree to 12 degrees Celsius. So when you do that, you have to do it in 20
That is
seconds.
very cool.
Throw it back. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
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 So we take the feed in 20 seconds because of the hypothermia and all those reasons, and we start to swim. So my goal is to swim from 1 feet to another, from 1 feet to another, from 1 feet to another. That's my basic goal during the swim. And what goes in my mind, for example, there are a lot of stages when the body gives up. Then for example, English Channel. After 10
Yes.
hours, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, I
Hello.
can hear you. Yeah. Yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So during the English Channel, when I was swimming, after the 10 hours, my was capable of doing the 10 hours. After that, my body
Yes.
started giving up. I started slipping into hypothermia. I
Oh my.
was not communicating with people on the boat, like because the first sign of hypothermia is like you lose the touch with the reality. And my father was asking me every time, "Are you okay?" Um, and I was like, "I'm just you're just giving a thumbs up." Like I wasn't talking back, and that's when he realized that something is wrong. And but the thing was, the weather was so bad, everything was going so against me at that point. But mentally, what I was thinking was, no matter what happens, I am not going to say I quit. I'll keep swimming. Either the weather goes so bad that it's not possible to swim for any human in the world, or and the pilot has to pull me out, but I am not going to quit. Or the second option is I swim, 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 and I faint while swimming. But I am going to keep swimming no matter what. And that's what was going in my head. And then it was all like mental strength. It was physical till 10 hours, but after 10 hours, for 2 hours and 45 minutes, it was all mental strength. So these are the small, small things that goes in my mind while swimming.
I mean, honestly, that is another level of dedication because I know, I mean, like the body gives up after a while and still trying to complete that. That is another level. I mean, like that's crazy. So you were the youngest swimmer, right? The youngest Asian swimmer to compete in the San Francisco Bay swim, the Angel Island. So, like, how was this swim?
So I'll just give um, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
yes.
just give a short fact check that I was the youngest swimmer when I swam it. Then one of my friend, she swam it after me. Now she is the youngest swimmer. But when I swam it, I was the 12th person in the world to ever swim that swim.
Oh my God,
And
that's
it,
amazing.
it was one crazy swim because you see State of Gibraltar. State of Gibraltar was a swim which was 16 kilometers again, which I did an Asian record, which was 3 hours 16 minutes. Now, the San Francisco swim, we predicted with the current and everything, it will take 4 hours, max to max. If the weather goes worse, it will take 5 hours. And we started the swim, and I ended up completing the swim in 10 hours. So the way the
Oh
swim
my God,
goes
that's
is
off
you
the
start
chart.
from the Yeah, you start from the bay, the San Francisco Bay, and you go straight cross by Alcatraz, and then there is an island behind Alcatraz, which is called an Angel Island. You swim around the island, and then come back where you started from. And this is 2 kilometers away from Golden Gate Bridge. I think
Okay.
it's around 16 kilometers away from Golden Gate, 16 to 15 kilometers. Yeah,
Okay.
and when while going back, I was swimming, and the current works this way that it's going diagonal, so it's flooding or it's ebbing. So current
Okay.
is crossing you. Yeah. So I swam one way. I went around the island. It was a beautiful swim. On the way back, it just threw me off course. The current was so
Okay.
strong that I ended up going close to the Golden Gate Bridge instead of reaching my finishing point.
So it was
And
supposed to be
at this
16 kilometers away, but you came like till 2 kilometers near the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, Yeah, more than that. Few more kilometers more than I was supposed to swim. And then I
Okay.
was, I at one point I was just swimming at the same point. I was not moving forward, and I knew that there is a timing to this flooding and ebbing. And there was a point where the flooding stopped, and I had a window where I can now move forward, and I started moving forward, and then the ebbing started, and the water pushed me towards the finish of the swim. So
Oh God.
the major challenge in this, more than the body, was the mindset, because you are prepared for a 5 hour swim and you end up swimming 10 hours. So that was one
Yeah,
of the challenges, the most challenging swim I have done.
yeah, so like San Francisco, actually, the San Francisco Bay actually holds the record for one of the most toughest open water swimmings, right?
Yes, it's recently it was inducted in like T10. So T10 are toughest 10 in the world,
Okay.
and San Francisco
Okay.
Bay is one of them.
Okay. And you've completed that. I mean, that is amazing, actually. And that not only completed that, you were the youngest from Asia now, before you're the youngest in the world. So
Yeah.
sucks, but yeah. So, what are your before preparations that you do take care before the major swim? What do you like basically like? What is your routine before a major swim?
So I try to not get too excited for it, but which always fails. I'm a very hyper kid. So I'm always excited to jump in the water. Like when this swim is going to start. So that's usually my mindset. But I try to calm myself down. I try to meditate. I relax myself. Yet my excitement is up there. And my preparations are usually just making sure that everything is right. My feeding is right. Um my the things I would require during the swims are well, but I don't think much, and I just go there with a very rigid mindset. So there's something known as rigidity and flexibility in your mindset. So I have, for some things in my life, I am very rigid towards it, and for some things I'm very flexible towards it. So completing the swim, I think I'm the most rigid towards it. So that rigidity in mind is always set. So, and that's what goes on in my mind, and I usually, like, very often I visualize the end of the swim. Like I
So basically,
visualize, yeah,
so
yeah,
basically, in
go
your
ahead.
head, you are like, "Ki, the swim is gonna. This is how it's gonna be looking like when I complete the swim." So that is
Yes,
actually what makes you keep on going. So
yes,
like that is amazing. Honestly, like I'll tell you one thing. India, I don't think so many people are very, basically fixated on the fact that they like on a competitive level about swimming, because I mean, like India is again like into more field and terrestrial sports, and swimming is
yeah,
completely for leisure. It's just like it's a very calming kind of a thing. So competing in swimming is not that like huge. I mean, like not that progression till now in India. So I mean, like what would you say to like sports, like for college students like us, when it comes to swimming?
So I would like to say, so swimming is picking up right now, and India is doing decently well. Like it is doing quite well right now when it comes to competitive level. And recently, Sri Hari, a person I know, he just was very close to Olympic. He got an Olympic B cut right now.
Oh
So
my God.
it's like, yeah. So India is progressing in swimming. Yes, and for the all the kids out there, all the college students out there who want to swim, I would just say enjoy the sport. Forget being competitive. Enjoy the sports. Enjoy being in water. Enjoy the feel of it. And if you're going for open water swimming, enjoy the beauty of the swim and
Yes.
enjoy how it is. Like it's a story not everybody can tell. It's a different vision, a different picture you see out there when you go for an open water swim.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I
like,
would say, that
that is completely
there's
different. I
something.
mean, like, when actually, I'll tell you one thing is basically, people usually think of swimming as a indoor sport, like in the pool. That's basically what swimming is. So, like, why did you just choose open water swimming when it comes to, I mean, like, what made you choose open water instead of, the classic traditional swimming?
So the idea of being out there, being in a very unknown territory, which is water, which is open water, and
Yes.
the adrenaline rush it gave me, and the waves, the uncertainty of the swim, the unpredictability of the swim, in a very weird way, excited me. And it always excites me. The tougher the swim, the exciting the swim, I would say. And
Okay.
you, even though while swimming you hate it, while swimming half, it's a very love hate kind of a relation when it comes to open water swimming. You ask this to any open water swimmer, they will say that they love the adrenaline, but the reality is, when you start the swim you love the swim. When you are halfway in the swim you hate it. You question as yourself, why are you doing this? You're
It's
getting
very
relaxed.
dreading at that moment. कि like, क्यों किया अभी? Yeah.
Exactly, you absolutely regret it, because it's a very uncomfortable spot to be in, and at the end of the swim you realize why you did it. The
Like
feeling of
everything was worth it.
completing,
Yeah.
yes, everything was worth it. The feeling of doing something which is not that easy and achieving that, is something I can't explain in words. And so this is why I opted for open water swimming. And we realized as the distance got longer, I was getting better at it. So physically, I was really meant for open water swimming, according to people around me. So that's the reason I
I
chose
mean,
open water
yeah.
swimming over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, how do you practice for the swim? Like normally, like what is your practice routine? What are your practice session consists of?
So my practice routine is very much like depends on the phase I am in. So usually the half of the year I'm in the phase where I am working on my speed, working on my strength, working on gaining some muscle. So at that point, I swim around 2 hours and in the morning after lunchtime, then again 2 hours in the evening, and I do this for like 3 days continuous. Then I take one day rest and I do this for 3 days and one day rest. And this is my phase where I'm actually picking up speed. When I'm building up aerobic capacity, that's when I do really long swims. That's when I am swimming for, like, I remember before the English Channel, I swam for around 6 hours. I started at 12 at night,
Oh my
in
God.
the swimming pool, and finished the swim at 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m., 6 hours swim, continuous in a swimming pool, and that too without touching the wall. So I wasn't swimming up and down. I was swimming in circular in a 25-meter pool. So
Oh,
that is one
okay.
kind of training I did. Yeah,
That is another.
and
That's another thing to tackle at that point of time.
yeah, it really messes up with your head doing something like that. It's much easier to swim in open water than swim for 7 to 8 hours in a swimming pool with no lights and without touching the wall, just round and round. It is crazy. It pushes you mentally to the next level. So it always varies in the phase I am in. And yeah, so, and for example, the English Channel swim,
Yes.
I was there 2 months before the swim because the water temperature was really cold for a kid who comes from a tropical country
Yeah.
and tropical climate like Mumbai. The coldest water I had ever witnessed was in my shower. That was the coldest water which I ever witnessed.
For like for
And
us, for Mumbai
when I went
people,
for the English shower,
yeah, for Mumbai people, basically 20 degrees is also very cold. So, I mean, like like going to like single digit degrees is kind of a big deal. Okay, just a second, you guys. I think we have a small network issue. We're trying to get him back. Yeah. Um. Yeah, you're back. Yes.
Is there a network issue from my side?
Yeah, from your side. Yeah, but I think it's better now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you. Yeah, you're good.
So yeah, day one I swam in the water. I lasted for 7 minutes. That
Oh
was
my
the
God.
max I could do because the water was so cold. It was giving me dance. It was hurting my face. I had a swimmer's claw, which is like your hands go like this while swimming, and I was swimming with
Okay.
this claw because of the cold. And 7 minutes. Then day two, I was swimming 15 minutes. Day three, I swam for half an hour. Day four, I swam for an hour. Then again, I gradually came down to half an hour and 15 minutes. And this was week one. The 1.5 week before my swim, I was swimming day one 4 hours, day two 6 hours, day three 8 hours, day four again 4 hours, 5 hours, then 4 hours, then 2 hours. So
So it
this was
just
my
became like
training
a
schedule
triangle.
for,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, it did. It did. It was like a pyramid kind of a
Yeah.
training schedule. And this is the way I trained before this.
So, I mean, like, you have basically made so many records. You've made so many, historical swims, honestly. So, I mean, like, recently, the most recent swim that you had was right here, like from Valkeshwar. Okay, just a second. Just a second, you guys. Again, we have some technical issues. I'd like to, yeah, just a second.
Can you hear me? Hello? You're on mute.
Second. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry
So,
for the disturbance.
yeah, that is okay. That is fine. We get it. There's a lot of network issues nowadays. Everybody's just talking on the internet all day long. There's like so much less bandwidth left for us. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, where was
So,
I? Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
was
my training schedule. Yeah.
yeah. I was talking about your most recent swim which you made from Valkeshwar to Gateway of India. And now this is our own territory now. So how is it like in our own like in our own Arabian Sea, I would say. Like, how is that swim?
It's a love-hate relation when I swim in our Arabian Sea. It's a beautiful swim. I have swum before. I have swum from Alibag to Gateway before, back in
Okay.
2014, and again in 2016, the other way from Gateway to Alibag. But this swim was special because I could see the coastline on the way back. So I was swimming from Raj Bhavan, the place you named it. There is a Raj Bhavan over there, and from Raj Bhavan to Gateway of India. So on the way back, you see through Mumbai's coastline, and it was
Okay.
evening. It was beautiful, believe me. It was absolutely beautiful, and
Mhm.
I enjoyed that swim. It was like falling in love with swimming all over again, and it was something different because it was a very technically challenged swim, and because of a very good crew, like there was not a big crew I had, but I had my father with me, I had my friend Manav with me, and I had Sulesa, who was guiding through the swim, and he's an expert when it comes to knowing the waves and how to work it out. And so it was very technically challenged swim, and I enjoyed it in total. Like I said, it was falling in love with the swim all over again. And the only thing is, it is very difficult to swim in those waters because you pass by Sassoon dogs. Like when I when I was going on the way from Gateway, when I sat on the boat to the Raj Bhavan, I could see the Sassoon dogs. I could see people going to the washroom. I could see everything, and I could see all, uh,
You see
everything
all
that is in
kinds
the
of lives.
water. Yes. So that was one
Oh
thing.
my
But
God.
the beautiful thing was we encountered dolphins at the start of the swim. They were huge. They
Oh,
were big dolphins near Raj
so it's
Bhavan, and it
that is like
surprised me.
swimming with
Yeah.
the dolphins. Yeah.
Yes, we saw them before jumping in the water, and that was like a good sign, a good luck. And we started off the swim from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Of course, it
overall
was good
amazing
luck
experience.
because you made a record
Yeah,
again. So it was
yeah,
definitely a good luck.
yeah. More than anything, the challenge was in that swim was like it was on 30th of December. So swimming, and that too last year. So that makes it like after the lockdown, and the
Oh,
pool
okay.
opened 1 month before the swim. And I got around less than a month to train for the swim. Even though I was training here and there, some places, but again, it's not feasible. I was swimming out in the sea or in the canals, in the dam, but it used to be once a week, and or else once in 2 3 weeks, like that, very vaguely. But swimming after such a long gap in less than a month training for it was something different. And I think I was the most disciplined kid while doing that.
Yeah,
But
because your entire
yeah,
body is kind of, like hard right now. It's not used to the basic swimming again. So, like shifting from that routine to another, like hard, you need to work again. You need to make the entire body stiff. The entire stiffness needs to be gone. So after all of that, and then jumping back in
yeah,
water
and
and
exactly. And it's a
going to create
skill-based
a
sport, so you
record,
can't get
that
it
is,
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
I am fixated on
yeah.
that.
So it was a little.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
can you describe your most dangerous swim? Which was the most dangerous swim? I mean, like, what was it?
I've swam around a lot of dangerous waters, but one instant where I think there were two instances where I was on the risk of dying,
Oh my God.
um, and yeah, that was when I was swimming from Ireland to Scotland. It was a very tough swim, and while swimming that swim, me and there was a world record holder who was swimming the same day, and we were good friends, and we were swimming together. We started off the swim together, and while swimming, after around 7 hours, the swimming was, I can hear my voice.
No, no, we can hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
Can you?
Yes, yes.
No, it was echoing.
Okay. No,
So
we can hear you.
after starting off the swim, yeah, we started to swim together, and we were competing. I was an underdog. I wanted to really swim with him, and he was also going cut to cut. And we pushed it really hard. It was a tough day. The sky was gray. There was no sunlight out, and water was very cold. It's colder than the English Channel. And around 6 hours until 6 hours we were swimming side by side. Side by side, when I say side by side, he was a couple of kilometers away from me. I could see his boat, couldn't see him. And he could see my boat, couldn't see me. And we were swimming after 6 hours. I see him falling back. Then after 7 hours, I see an emergency chopper fly by. He was into hypothermic shock. He was taken to
Oh,
the emergency care in Scotland. And around at 8th or 9th hour, I was told by my crew that Attila is in emergency care. He had to be
oh,
flown to Scotland because he had an hypothermic shock. And
okay.
I was swimming in. I swam for 12 hours. Then I was at the very edge of hypothermia. I was in the hypothermia by then, but I kept on swimming. My body was moving. I wasn't really moving that fast because obviously hypothermia. You are not really, your body is just making the motion, but you're not actually pulling a lot of water.
Okay.
And I was very close to the finish line. My observer decided to get in the water, and he decided to be in the water and just to check on me because my back was turning blue, my lips were blue, and I
Oh my
was
God.
giving clear indications of hypothermia. And there came a point where I stopped to see the finish. I could see the lighthouse where the finish was, and everything blacked out for me. And what really happened was, he was asking me my name. I could hear him say, like, "What is your name? I need to know your name. If you don't say your name, I need to pull you out." I couldn't say it back. I was just saying like this, and I couldn't say my name. And then, like in a split second, my body just sank, and he held me by my hand. And luckily, he was in the water. Then he dragged me out of the water, and I was unconscious. And I think
Oh my
around after
God.
40-45 minutes, I gained consciousness because my body was in hypothermic shock. Luckily, I was shivering subconsciously. That means the body was actually trying to gain heat. If I
Yeah, I
wasn't
was
shivering,
reacting.
it would have been a difficult spot, or else it would have been like very tricky, and hence they didn't call the chopper or anything. And that was one of the deadly incidents I have been in.
Oh my God, that is quite a story. I got goosebumps right now. That is actually that is it's a very competitive thing and a very dangerous place to be at. I mean, like it is a
Yeah.
very thin line between going to the other side and staying in.
Yep, it
So
was. It was.
yeah, I don't want to
But yeah,
quite
but that's what
say it.
makes it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Shubham, I mean, like, it was amazing to have you here with us. I would like to ask the audience if they have any questions to ask. Um, yeah, I mean, like, okay, so Kedar is asking, sir, would you like to give any sort of message to all the alumni present right there for their bright future in swimming? So,
Yes, definitely. Like I said before, learn to enjoy it, learn to have fun with it, and you'll automatically be really good at it. And don't forget the process that you do it because you love to do it, you enjoy to do it, and that should be your motive behind why you are doing that, like doing open water swim. And that's the only way to being successful in that.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the motto for everything. If you don't enjoy what you do, I think it's pointless.
Exactly.
I mean, why would you even like do things which you don't even like? I mean, it's just a mechanical thing that otherwise. And
Exactly.
Viraj asks, aren't the fishes scary? I really
They are.
wanted to
They
ask
are.
you this question as well because
They
I
are.
think it's
I am
yeah.
equally scared as my, like I'm equally scared of them. There was an instance where I was swimming at San Francisco Bay. I was just training all by myself. There was nobody around me that day. I was supposed to swim for 4 hours, and I was in the changing room, and then a guy came limping. He was just out of the hospital. People asked him what happened. Then he said that a seal took a bite of his hamstring and left,
Ouch.
got a chunk
Okay.
out of it. And they called that
Who
seal a, yeah, Big
who knew?
Larry because it had no eye. One eye wasn't there. Yeah.
Oh.
Then I went for the swim. I went for a training swim. I was swimming around the bay, and there is a small opening towards the bay where it opens to the open water. And I was there, and I sensed something around me. I was like, I can't see any swimmer around me. I swim again. I start swimming again, and then I again sense that there is something present there. And I lift my head up, and then I see a head pop out on my left and looking
Oh,
at me. It was a seal. Same one.
that
15
is
minutes in the water.
scary.
Yes. Then I see second head pop out in the right side of me. I was like, "Ab kya karu?" Then there was another third head which was right in front of me. They were in a
I
group,
mean, like
and
two
I was
seconds ago, we
scared.
thought seals were cute animals. 1 second
No,
ago,
no,
a seal just
they are
seal just
scared.
took a chunk out of somebody's hamstring. Now I'm surrounded by them. It's another thing.
Yeah, and then I slowly, like moved my way out of them. They were like when I was like moving away, I was just floating and moving away. Their heads was also moving, and they were looking at me. And then I just rushed my way out. Rushed my way out. I was technically 10 minutes away from the exit. I reached there in 2 to 3 minutes. I was just sprinting towards it, and I got out of the water immediately. So yeah, I have faced multiple instances like this, and I'm equally scared of them.
That was a close call, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was such a great honor to have you here because honestly, you have so many achievements. I think I have to like take down a pen and paper and like like write it down and then say it because there are too many of them, honestly. So
thank you.
yeah, so it is amazing to have you over here. And honestly, VIT thanks you. And we are amazingly grateful that you took out some of your time because honestly, I think you're juggling between your own like personal work and swimming as well and everything. And you just
Yeah,
took some time out for us. And that was
yeah.
very nice and
I'm
very.
not home yet actually. I have to still drive back to my house. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. And I hope everything is back and you get back in water soon because it's locked down again. So, yeah.
Oh, I see water, I jump in. Right now, that's the case. Like, I see water, I jump there. I don't care where it is. I am swimming. Like, I'm swimming if I see an open water, a canal, or a dam. I am trying my best. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, everybody do follow Shubham on Instagram. His Instagram ID would be put in the comments below. It's @brownboybluewaters. And you're going to see amazing updates about swimming. He has a lot of new things coming up right now. And do go check him out on Instagram. His reels are also amazing, I would say. It has a lot of swimming things. You would really like it. So yeah, thank you so much, Shubham, for joining us there. Eternally grateful. The college is eternally grateful for that. And thanks for making our
Thank you for having
evening.
me.
Yes. Yeah. All right, guys. I would like to thank all of you guys who were here. I mean, like, it was again a very amazing Friday Paathshala event, and I would like to thank our both the chief guests, the first Tanaz Mohammed and as well as Shubham Vanmali. I would like to thank our sports council. I would like to thank our sports council conveners, Mr. Dattatray Bade sir and Rohit Barve sir. I would like to thank our sports student council conveners, Sachin Deshmukh sir, and our COO Amit Oak sir. Thank you so much, sirs, for this amazing opportunity. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. And this such a session was very good for all of you guys. And hope you had all your doubts and questions solved. And have a great lockdown because I think we're going to be stuck in homes for a while now. So yeah, see you guys soon. Bye.